Hey, what's going on, guys? Anth Predicts here. So today, I'm taking a look at the most recent polls coming out of Ohio. As you can see, we have a few polls coming out with Trump versus some of the different Democratic candidates, as well as the Ohio Democratic primary poll. And also the South Carolina poll is in there, but there really isn't too much to talk about since it's a Democratic primary one. I'll mention a little bit about it at the end, but it's pretty much irrelevant towards this. So in Ohio, what have we seen? Well, honestly, it's pretty much very good news for Trump. Quinnipiac, which in my experience, the polls tend to lean towards the Democrats' side in Democrats' favor, and they often lean maybe by 2 to 3 points in the Democrats' favor. They actually show against every candidate except for Biden, Trump is either tied or he's up one, which I think the polls are reflecting that Trump's very underwater in Ohio right now. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think Trump's holding up very strong with his numbers in Ohio. They say Trump's underwater in Ohio. I don't think that's the case. I think how good the economy is doing and how low the unemployment rate is, I think Trump's actually above what he started with in Ohio. I think his approval rating in Ohio is probably around 48%. I think higher than some of the other states because the economy, as I mentioned, is so good. The white working class voters that voted for Obama in 2012 and then voted for Trump in 2016, I think are very supportive of the policies Trump has done. For instance, getting rid of NAFTA and replacing it with the USMCA. So there's a lot of factors that go into giving Trump high approval numbers in Ohio, and I think he's doing very well in Ohio. This isn't really this is partly my opinion, but also fact. I think for 2020, Trump's in very good condition to win Ohio again. I know there's a lot of Trump voters who don't want to come out and say they're Trump voters, but will vote for him again, similar in 2016. And I think Ohio is definitely one of those states where those voters are. That's why you'll see Biden at 50, Trump at 42. They're like, oh, that's a blow for Biden. I don't really think that's the case. I think Trump's probably running even with Biden in Ohio because while Biden may seem like he's the logical Democrat at this point, which he is basically in terms of policy, Trump, I think, is just as much support in Ohio among the independents and among the Republicans. His one problem is probably going to be how to handle suburban women because that's a big key voting group that kind of switched to the Democrat side in the 2018 midterms. And Trump's strategy for winning Ohio is pretty much similar to how it always is. The two counties, Hamilton County, which has Cincinnati, and Cuyahoga County, which has Cleveland. Trump hopes to run either better than Mitt Romney did or run how he did in 2016, keep voter turnout low there, and then win all the surrounding suburbs and rural areas of the state. Trump's path to victory in many states are very similar to that, but Trump's pretty much just hoping to pretty much do that, and I think Trump's in very good chance to win re-election in Ohio at this stage. I don't think Biden's at 50 and Trump's at 42. I think it's more like Trump's at 48, Biden's probably at 48 as well, or maybe 47. I think Trump probably has a slight edge in Ohio for now, because I think a lot of that Biden support will fade over time if he is the nominee. One thing Biden has proved over the campaigning, he's not very reliable with running a staged, good campaign, and he's kind of, not to use the Trump term here, but he's kind of low energy. I feel like he's very gaffe prone as he's already coming out, and Trump's kind of like immune to gaffes because he basically takes a gaffe and runs with it and makes it like a strength somehow. Kind of unfounded in politics, but somehow he does it. So I think Ohio polls, very good news for Trump. If you're a Democrat, very good news for Joe Biden, if you're a fan of Joe Biden. For the rest of them, not really good news. And the Democratic, I say that because in the Democratic primary poll, Biden's up 17 points over his closest challenger, which is Bernie Sanders, and Kamala Harris tied at 14. And if you're Biden, if you're the Biden campaign, this is very good news because Biden's doing what you want him to do. He's winning in the moderate states with the white working class voters, the ones that will have to flip back if he wants to beat Trump. And he's looking very good. I bet a bunch of the Rust Belt state polls are looking very similar to this, where Joe Biden is seen as the more moderate, I can beat Trump, I can take on Trump candidate. And if the Democrats want to win the Rust Belt, they do need to run someone like Joe Biden, I feel. I don't think running a Kamala Harris or Elizabeth Warren will help them win the Rust Belt. If anything, I think that may help them flip Minnesota to the Republican side if they do run Elizabeth Warren or a Kamala Harris maybe. I feel like Kamala Harris is in a better chance to win more of the Rust Belt than Elizabeth Warren would. But anyway, that has nothing to do with Ohio. So bottom line, Ohio's looking very good for President Trump in 2020 in re-election. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.